kind of speaker. My name is Donna Landerman. I live on 6 Rundle Lane in Bloomfield, and I've been here almost 25 years. And this is the first time I've done this kind of thing, but I saw Steve's article in the Hartford Courant and was really outraged to think that we were going to have a bottling plant come here. So I'm going to just speak a little bit. As you can tell, we're covering different topics, and I'm going to speak a little bit about the environmental disaster that is a bottling plant. I think you're probably familiar, with some of these things, but I just want to stress that these bottling plants produce an unbelievable amount of dangerous trash, most as litter and in landfills because of only a small percentage are ever sent to recycling. And family-friendly Niagara proposes on one bottling line to produce 110,000 bottles an hour. This is like mind-boggling. That makes 2.6 million of those little plastic bottles every day, which is 940 million bottles for one line in 1 year. And they want to go up to 4 years, and multiplying 4 lines, multiplying 940 million times 4 is beyond my math ability. But it's a really huge number of these bottles coming in through and in and out of Bloomfield. The water waste is unbelievable. In order to make one of those little bottles, it takes, from what I've read, between 3 and 7 times the amount of water that's in the bottle to make the bottle, which then creates an enormous amount of water waste. And this goes into the Connecticut River, I assume, eventually into the ocean, which causes all kinds of problems. You've seen the pictures of huge piles of plastic in the ocean, and somebody responded to my letter to the editor saying, have you ever gone down to New Haven at low tide? It's just filled with plastic bottles everywhere. Do we know that the things being produced at the production of this plant, what kind of pollution is coming out? Has anybody asked? Who's going to measure it? Are we going to trust them to measure it? To me, that's like trusting the cigarette companies. I see a lot of similarities here. The manufacture and production and transport of bottled water is estimated to be between 1,100 and 2,000 times as energy efficient as treating and distributing our tap water. I mean, it's already our water. They want to spend all this energy, create all these bottles, and then sell it back to us. I mean, that part makes me really crazy. It takes... let me get my notes here. When things are recycled, they generally turn plastic bottles into textiles, clothing. And then we wash our clothes, and little teeny pieces, micro-plastic pieces, go into the water system, down into the ocean, and get ingested by microorganisms and animals in the ocean. And then there's a thing called the food chain. So we don't even know how that affects human health, but we know that it has very negative impacts on marine life and animals. And animals eat this plastic. Sometimes it cuts their insides. They can't digest it, so it ends up they starve. Or they have the type of bottles that they use, the PET, causes hormonal weirdnesses amongst the animals, and we don't know whether that's affecting us as we move up the food chain. Public health issues. When you drink out of these bottles, there seems to be some leaching that can happen into the water that you're drinking. And the regulation of bottled water is not as good as the regulation of tap water. And they're touting their water being, better than anybody's. Isn't our water really good as it is? And what are they adding to it to make it worth 300 or whatever, 1,000 times more expensive than, we're already paying for it? So I think there are just a lot of environmental reasons why the idea of a bottling plant is just a really bad idea. I support economic development, but it needs to be smart development, and I really request that the citizens
5 minutes.
be allowed to participate in this discussion and in the decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.